In 2018, the Red Sox had one of the most dominant seasons in recent memory. They won 108 games in the regular season and went 11-3 in the postseason en route to a World Series championship, their fourth in 14 years. But in the 5 seasons since then, they've won just 48% of their regular season games. That's not at all what you'd expect from a team that had all the talent in the world and a market that would accommodate their contracts. So what's the current state of the team looking like? And how will they perform in 2024 in a hyper-competitive American League East division? The Red Sox won 78-84 in 2023, good for last place in the division. As a team, they hit well enough but did not pitch or play defense particularly well, which has been the story since that 2018 World Series team. The Yankees had their worst season in 3 decades, and they still finished ahead of the Red Sox in the standings. It looks like a lot of the same is in store for next season. There hasn't really been any major changes, and from how their past 2 seasons went, that is not a good thing. Last year, they had a 99 team WRC+, negative 20 defensive runs saved, and a 4.52 earned run average. All 3 of these metrics place them in the bottom half of the league. What did they do to address these issues? Basically nothing. They signed starting pitcher Lucas Giolito, who hasn't really had a decent season since 2021 with the White Sox. My only guess as to why they signed him is simply to have him eat innings for them. He started at least 30 games in 4 of the last 5 non-shortened seasons. A move like this is pretty much a telltale sign that a team doesn't expect to compete. But how about hitting? Maybe they signed a couple competent hitters to balance out the lineup. Well, they signed Tyler O'Neill and traded for Vaughn Grissom, 2 mostly unproven players. O'Neill had a fantastic 2021 season, clubbing 34 home runs and putting up a 143 WRC+. But outside of that season, he really hasn't done much in his 6 big league seasons. As for Grissom, he was a top prospect with the Braves coming up. In 41 games in 2022, he hit well with a 793 OPS. It was looking like he'd become the missing piece at shortstop with Dansby Swanson soon to hit free agency. And once he left in 2023, it was looking like it was going to be Grissom's turn. The Braves weren't thinking like that though, choosing to start Orlando Arcia as the primary shortstop. When Grissom was given playing time though, he didn't impress, not even managing to hit a home run in nearly 100 plate appearances. They even traded outfielder Alex Verdugo to the Yankees in December for a couple of minor league pitchers who most likely won't be that great in the bigs. He had been a key cog in the Red Sox lineup since his involvement in the Mookie Betts trade, and this move was also the Red Sox admitting that they ended up on the losing side of that Betts deal. Since that point, Mookie has gone on to be the MVP finalist for the Dodgers several times and is still in his prime at 31 years old. It's absolutely wild to me that despite being in a big market, the Red Sox still refuse to spend big money on big free agents, missing out on many marquee names the past few years. In a generational 2021 shortstop free agency class, where players like Corey Seager and Marcus Semien were available, the Red Sox chose to put their eggs in the Trevor Story basket. With the benefit of hindsight, this looks like an absolutely terrible move. Since his debut in 2022, Story has been worth just 2.6 Fangraphs WAR in 137 games. Given he's had some injuries, but when you can sign Seager or Semien, these stats don't look all that great. Even with all this negativity around the team, Red Sox fans can still look forward to watching first baseman Triston Casas play out his first full season in Major League Baseball. In 132 games last year, he slugged .490 with 24 home runs. He figures to be a huge part of the Red Sox infield for at least the next 5 years. Brayan Bello is another player to watch this year, as he's young and had a solid season last year. Honestly, he might be the only capable starter in that entire starting rotation. There's way too many question marks on the roster in order for this team to be considered anything more than a very mediocre 500 team. And given the competitiveness of the division, it looks like the Red Sox are headed for yet another last place finish this year. I will admit they do have a few solid prospects waiting in the minor leagues right now. They have 3 in the MLB pipeline top 40, but since they're all hitters, it's hard to say how their pitching will shape up in the future. But for right now, things are looking good, and I wouldn't trust their prospects to bring them back to relevancy.